Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Connection Hangout. My name is David Asarno, and I am here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm joined by my co-host, Paul Tyra, in Las Vegas.
What's up, David? How's it going, man?
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Fantastic, fantastic. Weather's like perfect right now. It's like 85 degrees, crystal clear out there. This is one of my favorite times of the year, and makes me realize why I moved out here to Vegas.
Well, this is my favorite time of the year because fall has sprung, the leaves are changing. You walk outside, you hear the crunching under your feet, the colors in the trees. But I guess you don't have that out there.
That we don't have, but I was up in Utah, and yeah, some of the places it looks like the trees are on fire there.
Hello, everyone, and welcome.
And I got to make sure I
hang out. Hey, we're getting to hear ourselves again the second time around.
We are getting that. I apologize. Let me get if I can see if I can grab that real quick. Bear with me for 1 second.
We just got applause again.
I have to. Well, I'm going to be trying to moderate the conference thread.
I think right now it's time for a big solution.
Yeah. No, I was going to try. I'm trying to moderate the conference thread, so I'm having to pause that. So, anyways, we should be good to go from now on.
Well, actually, that's exactly right. Right below us on the screen, there's a place for you to put comments. Say hi to us, please. We'd love to hear from you. And although he's going to be participating live, Paul will do his best to moderate the comment thread today. Now, this is not a product or business presentation. However, if you'd like more information on ASEA, please get back with the person who invited you to be on this Hangout. Now, if you see more info button under the screen after the Hangout is over, feel free to click on it, and it will take you to more information on ASEA. Now, let's talk about our guest today. Last weekend was the Envision conference, and today we have some conference attendees, including Triple Diamonds, Michael Stern, and Paul Tyra. Double Diamond, Craig Linder in Hawaii. And our co-hostess with the mostest, Platinum Pilar Labriola from New Jersey. Now, we're all having a lot of fun right now, and I know you guys had fun at the Envision conference, and unfortunately, I wasn't allowed to be there. However, I'm going to get an insight from what I understand from the guest speaker, one of the speakers that they had, Connie Podesta. She talked a lot about shapes and what a shape a shape that we may be aligned with means to us. So, Paul, why don't you tell us a little bit about the shape thing?
Well, it was really powerful, David. And the bottom line goal of the exercise and the education was realizing that we're all built a little differently, and you can't just assume everyone thinks like you. And I think that's a really, as I've learned here in my history in network marketing,
they don't?
It's very, yeah, exactly. They don't really? Why not? and again, it's to a lot of people it's very frustrating. But when you understand, and there's not that many differences, when you understand some fundamental things, your communications can be extremely effective. So we're gonna go through this little exercise, have some fun tonight. So the very first step, David, is do you have a blank sheet of paper and a pen or pencil?
Yes. And by the way, everyone who's watching right now, grab a blank sheet of paper and a pen or pencil, something like this.
There you go. There you go.
Yep.
And very simple. We're going to draw, just from left to right, draw a square, draw a triangle, draw a circle, and then draw a squiggly line, however you want to draw the squiggly line. And okay, so it's pretty quick. And what's really powerful here is that within just a few seconds, okay, we're going to know a lot about you. Okay, just a few seconds, literally. I know there's all these different, tests. What is it, Briggs-Myers, or all these different fancy names, and sometimes people take hours and stuff. This particular exercise, within seconds here, we're going to know a lot, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So what I want you to do within 4 seconds, David, is to draw an X through the shape that you most identify with. Is that correct, Pilar? Is my language correct?
Perfect language. You get an A.
All right, fantastic. So, which one did you pick?
Well, we did this before, but I did it the wrong way because everything was covered. And so the circle is what stood out with me the most. I don't know if one of the shapes actually identify with, but when I stare at it, the circle is what my eyes were drawn to.
Well, I need to point in here, Paul, that Connie said very specifically that the people after 4 seconds that are still trying to figure out are probably squares.
Very good.
Well, well, and the funny thing is, I don't think I'm a square because I read a little bit about what that means, and I'm like,
Can't
that's not
cheat,
me,
David.
that's not
No
me.
cheating.
Or
No
maybe-
cheating.
You're a square in denial. You know what I
Cannot read that.
Maybe I am.
mean? So, which brings us to I think a good starting point is let's talk about one of our guests here, which is a real square, and actually did a phenomenal job there on stage with Connie. Connie actually brought him up on stage, and again, not knowing anything, just asked him a few questions. And I'd like to just ask a couple of questions here with Craig Lindner that will kind of illustrate the differences here and start to bring out the differences in personality. So Craig, here's the scenario. The scenario is you set an appointment for 10 o'clock a.m. with someone, and when you go to that appointment, what time do you show up?
I get there a half hour early.
Half hour early, okay? Now,
Yeah.
absolutely. Now, I know there's people out there that are saying, well, yeah, and again, as you're looking at the shape you put in extra, think about that. Is this you or is this someone you know? But a half hour early. Some people are in their head are going, half hour? Why would anyone show up a half hour early, right? Okay.
Right.
So when the next question is about what time do you start to get annoyed if you don't see the person?
Oh, like 15 minutes before 10.
About 15 minutes before, right? Someone who is of a square persuasion is going to start to get annoyed. Now, when do you consider the person late?
10 o'clock.
There you go. So again, someone who's
Okay,
actually
maybe I am more of a square.
Yeah, but we are laughing. But I will tell you that as Craig was answering these questions, I mean, Connie was saying this is textbook. I mean, this is what is actually going on, and so for those of you, a lot of you will be saying yes, of course. I mean, that's right, dead on. But there are a lot of you out there who I guarantee are probably going, what? People actually think like that? And that's the main point of going through this whole exercise. So I want to just kind of illustrate that. Also, another characteristic of someone who's a square, let's say, as far as like proximity and communication, if I were walking up to you, Craig, and just kind of a rough guesstimate in feet, how close would you, or when you start feeling like a little bit awkward or comfortable, how close would that person be to you?
Yeah, like 45 feet.
Around 4 or 5 feet. Okay?
No, it's 45. 45.
Yeah, he said 45.
He's in the next block. Yeah, he's on a bullhorn. So somewhere between 4 and 5 feet. And I know a lot of folks like to really get up, in someone's area, in someone's space, and there are cultures that tend to do that, but there's still within the culture a lot of people feel uncomfortable as well. So it's a very good thing to be aware of. Now, and to kind of give you the opposite, kind of let you know what I'm a circle. So we've got some differences there. I am someone as a circle who typically will be there pretty close to on time. I mean, I get there maybe just a few minutes early out of respect for some people. Sometimes, if depends on if I'm running, if I know the person, I will definitely get there. That's going to be more square-like. We'll get there. But typically, my thing is right there on time. And it's very funny what goes on in the circle's mind, in our minds, in our twisted little minds, right? It's basically, we're thinking like, what? I got nothing better to do than sit around and wait for someone for 15 minutes or half an hour. I got stuff to do. I got stuff to do all the way up until that time. I'm taking a shower. I'm planning on taking a shower 15 minutes before so that I can let right at that hour. So it's a little bit different in perception depending upon the.
We're getting some feedback.
We are. Just gotta be kidding. Okay, so maybe we can mute our mics if you're not speaking. Go up to the top. Maybe mute mic, the little microphone symbol. There's one. Craig. I can maybe do that here from this side. David. Okay, so it looks like we've got it. Okay, so I've got everyone muted. Okay, so now you're muted. So if you need to unmute yourself, just go up to the top and unmute yourself. Matter of fact, I think I might be able to identify it here. Okay, yeah, you can unmute yourself from the top. Okay, what I like to do though is chime in on a couple other folks here. So Michael is a triangle, and so Michael, if you want to unmute your microphone and maybe give a couple perspectives, because you're going to see some similarities. What it is squares and triangles. You can kind of, I wouldn't say stereotype, but categorize them in a similar category. Circles and people who selected the squiggly line are in a very similar category as well. So based on those two scenarios, Michael, as far as like being on time and prompt and showing up for a 10 o'clock appointment, as well as proximity to folks, what was your level of comfort?
So generally, at about quarter till the appointment is when I'm kind of starting to pay attention, and if it gets down to the actual hour, I'm starting to be worried, like, okay, I hope there's nothing wrong and that sort of thing. A half hour before, no way, but right. a quarter till, and I think maybe 3 feet is the comfort area. One thing I wanted to say though, Paul, that I think is important for everybody listening, that Connie had pointed out, is the main reason for this whole exercise is that almost everybody makes the assumption that they want to communicate to other people the same way they would like to be communicated to. And she says when we have that attitude that we're treating everybody the way we want to be treated, that we're leaving 50% of the business on the table. So the whole purpose there is for us to start being aware of how other people like to have their communication interaction, so we can learn to model them.
Very good point. And so, yeah, I mean, unless that other person is willing to be aware that you're different from them, you may lose that person completely. And like Michael said, it's basically half the potential is what you may be losing. Very good.
Yeah. So I mean, if we're looking to get people to see our point of view, and in a certain sense, we're selling them to join us and see our vision. With somebody like Craig, if we got there exactly on time, he's already angry at us. So there's no way he's going to want to do anything that's going to be what we're trying to get him to do.
Right, or even irritated, or you don't want someone in the back of their head, be having those thoughts and thinking that you're not professional, or why did they show up at this? Don't they respect my time? I mean, so you really that's a great point. All right, so let's hear from the squiggly. Squiggly wiggly.
So I am the team squiggle, I guess, apparently.
Actually, here's Pilar right here. That's Pilar.
That's just rude. I don't know what it meant, but it's rude. Okay.
But Pilar, can you describe this? Because a squiggly is the most fascinating, because I think everyone can relate to a square, a triangle, a circle. But the squiggly, and I think. Where are
you going with this, Paul? Where are you going?
No. I think Connie was also mentioning that a triangle or a square may think like squiggly. That's not even a geometrical shape. Why would someone even? Shouldn't even be an option. Who would think to put a line through that?
It looks like a worm.
What made you choose the squiggle? And kind of give us a little bit of background. I know you did a little bit more homework.
I did do my homework, which is very unsquiggly of me, but I did. I wanted to learn this because we're actually going to be training a little bit of this on our Super Saturday this weekend. But so what I liked about this whole exercise was that I'm a person where it helps you predict almost how the person's going to respond to you. And so when she had us draw it out, and then she said you have 4 seconds to pick, I'm like, I don't like that one. That one's just ticking me off. Circle? Did I just call myself fat? And I'm like, wait, I could pick the squiggle. And so that's kind of went through my head, and I was happy about picking the squiggle. And one of the first things she said, which Paul, you obviously pointed out, she had me pegged, was first of all, she said, squiggle, stand up. I mean, she had everybody standing up, squares, circles, triangles. And she's like, this is usually the smallest group in the entire room, and there's 300 people in the room, and there's about 10 of us. And she said, these people are brilliant, because I'm a squiggle, so I like that already. She said, we don't like to be told what to do. I mean, if you ask my husband, he'll tell you that is a true story. My mom, my dad, anybody in my upline, I mean, they're going to tell you. We don't care where we meet, you know. We don't care what time you get there. And she kind of broke it down like in the fact where if you have a square, you have somebody who's more into details and data, and they're system people. They really like systems. And where a triangle is more of a result person, like, let's get to the point here. A circle is people, you know. And she was funny because she had the circle stand up. She's like, oh, look at all the circles hugging each other. They're hugging, and you know, they're getting their feelings hurt because we didn't mention them first, you know, and they're like the lovers, the peacemakers, and then the squiggles are the idea people. So it's very difficult. Like, they basically drive other people crazy because they're always coming up with another idea, and they want to get stuff done, but they don't really want to follow a format, and then they need new ideas and fresh. And I was like, my goodness, I am such a squiggle. It's really fun.
So I hear you saying that squiggles get bored very easily.
ADD.
Yeah, we do. What is your point? I'm getting bored with this conversation that you're calling right now, David. So they call us creative. We're visionaries. I mean, I took copious notes on this, which was technically very square of me. But listen, you know, you guys, like.
Yeah, but if it was about the squiggle, now I understand why you took notes on it.
Yeah, well. So I was standing up, so I didn't get to take notes on the squiggle. But Connie Podesta has a website, and if you look at her last name is spelled Podesta. And if you go on her website, down the bottom, it'll say personality shapes. Click on that, and she'll ask you to choose yours. And just real quick, like, which one do you identify with most, and start reading on it. And like Paul said, like, she categorizes us into two, like if you're a square or a triangle, or if you're a circle or a squiggle. So she kind of pushed us into two. And so now for me, like, my tip is, no matter what, I'm there kind of early. I'll always ask the person, where do you want to meet? Like, and because, like you're saying, if you're going to talk to somebody like you want to be spoken to, you're right, Paul, you're going to leave 50% of your business on the table. And her whole point for doing this is that people will sign up in your business just based on how you communicate with them, and that's the truth. She said a square will sign up that day. They'll make their decision before you walk in the door almost if they want to be in business with you. A triangle won't make their decision that day, but they're going to make it pretty fast, and they just want to know that you're a results person and you're going to get things done. A circle more or less want to know that you give, like, that you care about them, that you want to be with them. And she said a squiggle will sign up in your business if you're funny, if you crack jokes, if there's something, like, you know, you're spontaneous. And that is the truth. So I don't know. I thought this was fantastic. I immediately came back, did it to my in-laws. It was so right on with them and my staff at our office. I mean, it's an incredible tool.
It is, and you mentioned something too about, you know, different personalities with regards to where you're going to meet. And I think that's a great way to identify someone without having them draw a square, a triangle, and a circle on a piece of paper. You're not going to be able to do that. But just simply asking them, like, if you're going to set the appointment, like, what would you prefer? You know, you're doing a qualifying question. Say, would you prefer that we meet at your office? Would you like to come to my house? Would you like to meet at Starbucks? You know, we can get a coffee, grab a bite. And simply knowing their response, I mean, what their response is, will tell you, you know, their characteristic of if they're square, triangle, etc. And that will tell you.
What would that be then? So say someone wanted to meet at your house.
So the poll was like, so for Craig, for instance, she stood up, she had Craig stand on stage, and he was so handsome doing it, by the way. And she asked him, where would you like to meet? And he said, my place. Where a triangle is going to want to meet at your place so they can buzz
leave
out of there real fast.
Yeah, so they can leave with it.
Right, they're in control. The circles will be like, let's get a coffee, let's get to know each other. And the squiggles, and it was so funny, she goes, squiggles, where do you want to meet? And everybody was like, we don't care. And that's the truth, like, we really, really don't care. So you can kind of even predict their personality just by that question alone. It was pretty cool.
Interesting. Maybe I am more square than I thought.
Yeah, and I read, you know, if you read a little bit, there is some stuff on the internet about it, and she even says, like, at different points in your life, you will exhibit different traits, and depending on what you're going through, maybe you don't really know who you are, but I found myself a lot of triangle traits, to be really honest with you, and
because the triangle has a sharp point on it, and you want to like stick people.
Paul, we are live on air. Some people think I'm charming. Okay.
The charming sticker.
I'm not seeing that in the comment thread. I don't know. Let me.
I can't see the comment thread. Michael, stick up for the triangles.
Stick up for the triangles.
But anyway, guys, I implore you.
As I said, you're a squiggly triangle.
Squiggly triangle.
Well, the thing that was really awesome though at the conference is then she had everybody write their shape on their name badge.
Yep.
So that everybody for the rest of the conference was addressing everybody from the point of view of whether they were a square or a circle or a triangle. And I mean, it really became kind of the backdrop of the rest of the convention.
It really did, and people that spoke, right, Michael, they would say, hey, they spoke on stage, they would tell you who they were, and, I'm such and such, I'm a triangle. And it's funny, they talked about personal space, so like squares and triangles really don't like you to hug them unless like you get to know them. Poor Craig must have had more people throwing themselves, but they're like, but I'm a circle, so I'm going to hug you, and he's like, ah!
It was, and I think what was really just awesome, like we mentioned, one of the benefits is now knowing and respecting and having this great way to communicate with people who we can now realize think differently than us, and all that. But also in team building, what the other really important thing is you don't want to have a team of where you're only all circles. You don't want to have a team of only all triangles, squares, etc. And that's one of the reasons too why it was great to be able to invite some of the leadership here at Team Reactive to show like, yeah, it's great to have diversity. There's no better symbol. I mean, there's one of them's not right. Okay, it's just we're all different, but combined, and as long as you have that respect and you all recognize each other's viewpoints, it can make this collaborative, very powerful entity.
That's a good point.
Super shapes.
Well, if you think about it too, like, I mean, we're all taught, like, we do 3 ways, and it's so funny because one of the things that impressed me most about network marketing to begin with was all the different personalities. You didn't all have to be like a woo rockstar Bon Jovi up there, and you can be conservative, you can be analytical, and this business fits into all those categories, and you don't know who you're going to pull in. So having that powerful upline, and she even mentioned families. Most families will have a membership of each of those shapes within the family itself, and it just makes everybody like really full knit. I just thought this was a fabulous exercise. I don't know. That's my squiggle opinion.
Yeah, no, it was really great because, and I will tell you that everyone here, this group and all the leadership and people who have achieved success in our industry, I think we do this anyway. We always look, to respect and try to, have that understanding, but it's hard to articulate. And this exercise and the personality shapes here really allows us to now transfer that. And so someone brand new, instead of taking 10 years or 20 years, of being beat up and coming to certain realizations about how to deal with certain types of people, but not being able to articulate it, that's really the power of this. So I encourage you to go out now and have this in the back of your head. And it's not like you're what do they call that? Like racial profiling anybody, you're not like staring.
There comes a circle. I can see him a mile away.
I think, but think of it more as of a positive type of a stereotyping, right? Of where you're learning something to understand someone else better, but this is all, like I said, it's all good. It's just who you are. It's who we are, and even like Pilar was saying, as you evolve or as you get older, you may change. You may evolve and have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But the core things are, and if you can communicate and identify, like again, just asking people certain questions, it could really improve your communications and your results.
Yeah, even for a square. Craig, do you have anything to add? You muted person, you in Hawaii.
I think I might have muted him. Let me see. Hold on. Let me make sure he's not muted.
I think.
Oh, you know what? You're gonna have to unmute yourself. I think, Craig. Let's see.
Cover. There he is now.
Did you unmute yourself? You need to click on the little mute button if you put your thing, or you put your pointer over. There we go. Oh, there we go. Oh, it was off, wasn't it? No, do it again. One more time. There. Okay, there we go.
Is it working?
Yep, gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of fun getting hugged by everybody there. I'll try to like get in my 4 or 5 feet of space.
You gotta have 5 feet arms to hug a square.
Yeah. Well, it was really very good to be aware of what other people are thinking, especially now I know to show up late, don't show up too early, and actually go to Starbucks and meet them there if that's where they're more comfortable at. So it's going to be a big help. I think I'll do a lot better with some of the people I'm trying to work with.
Very good. Very good. Fantastic.
Spoken like a true square. Say that.
Right on. Right on. All right. Well, everybody, anyone else have any closing thoughts? Or let me make sure I mute again here. Great, Derek. I think we're getting some feedback from the coconut Wi-Fi there.
Yeah.
It's got to run through the tree and up the back.
Well, here's what I can tell you. It sounds like you guys had a blast. You got to learn about each other, the other people the other leaders who were at the Envision conference, and I sure wish I was there with you. It was a good time for all, and let's do something fun again like that very soon. Maybe Cancun in February.
Yes, that is going to be fun, and that's a great point. Everyone shoot to be there at Cancun. These events like this Envision conference, you want to try to be at as many of them as possible. And the Cancun one is realistic for anyone, especially if you're new, to be able to be there. So definitely shoot for that. All right, thanks everybody for tuning in. All of you, all you squares, triangles, circles, and squigglies. Thanks so much for tuning in. Go out and have fun with this, guys. I mean, it makes learning about yourself, about others, a lot of fun. It strikes up a lot of conversation. And as you're doing this and people get educated, I think it's gonna open a lot of doors for you. So go out there, have fun, and enjoy. And thanks for being on the Connection Hangouts this evening. Go out and have a fantastic rest of your evening, rest of the week, and I'll see you later. Take care, everybody.
See you later, everybody.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.